Hi, good afternoon. So today is the day 6 of the Gear Up Mains Answer Writing 2023. Today we will discuss a question on modern India. Previously in the last 5 days we discussed the question of ancient, medieval and culture. I hope you people are writing and then you are attending these classes. If you are attending these classes without writing the question paper, it will not be much beneficial. Please try to write the answer before attending the class. And check yourself, evaluate yourself, which point you missed from the points which I am telling here. You can also submit your answer sheet to the portal so that our mentors will evaluate your answer. So for a better answer writing, you need to evaluate yourself and also you need to submit your answer sheet there. So this is those who are new here, this is an initiative in which we are providing you a daily question from the UPSC PYQ from Monday to Friday. We are going subject wise. In the last week we covered the ancient, medieval and culture, and in this week we will cover the modern India. We are providing the question at 11 a.m. morning in the Telegram group. You can join. One is the Telegram group is the Gear Up Mains 2023 with the same name of the program is the Telegram group, and the another group is on the name of the Join Edukemy for IAS. You will get the question there and you can submit the answer on the Edukemy website with the name of a course, the master program. Master program for prelims and mains. You can enroll to this course without any cost. It's free of cost and you can submit your answer for the evaluation as well. Okay, so let's start the today's question. The question was given to you in the morning. Why was there a sudden spurts in famines in colonial India since the mid-18th century? Give reasons. The question was, why was there a sudden spurt in famines in colonial India since the mid-18th century? So in this question we need to be right why there is a sudden increase in the famines. Why there is a sudden increase in the famines during mid-18th century. Mid-18th century means from 1750, starting from 1750 to 1940, till 1940, we will see here. Why? During this time period, there is a sudden increase in the famines in the country. So this is the main demand of the question. You need to write the reasons. Why? Why? This is a simple question, a straightforward question. Why there is a sudden increase in the famines? So when you are writing this question, there is a need to be write the data, need to write the example of the famines, and also to list out the regions in the form of subheadings. So the question having the three parts. One is the introduction, second is the body part, and the third is the conclusion. So in the introduction part, you people can write about the why there is a sudden increase in the famine. You can write during the 1750 to 1940, there was a sudden increase in the famines which led to more than 85 million of death in India during that period. The rise of famine lead to more than 85 million. It's a huge number. The death of 85 millions of people in India during this period. This is also known as an indirect genocide. This is also known as an indirect genocide by the British Indian by their policy. The regions, you can also write in one line, the regions of the famine may be the, we can say the policy of British, maybe the agricultural policy, as well as some of the other examples you can add. So in the introduction, in 25-30 words, you can write in 75, in between 50 to 1940, there was a sudden increase in the famine in a country due to the British policy, due to the agriculture policy, and some of the weather phenomenon as well, due to the monsoon. That leads to more than 85 million of death during this period. It's also known as the genocide by the British policy. I hope this is clear to you. In the introduction part, you need to write this thing. Now, let's come to the body part. So, in body part, there is a exact condition is demand here. You need to write the region. Need to write the regions. Why? There is a sudden increase in the famine. Why? There is a sudden increase in the famine during mid-17th century. Give regions. So we will give the data. Yes, there is an increase in the famines. So in that data, you will write number one region. What can be the major region? The British India policy. British India agriculture policy. They were specifically focusing on the cash crops like cotton, maize, and the opium. They are specified, they are completely specified to the market crops, which lead to the food shortage. You can give the example of some of the famine related to it, like the Bengal famine. In this question, the example is the more important in the answer. If you are not writing the examples or you are not giving the example of some particular famine, you will not get good marks in this question. The second you can write about the economic policy. In economic policy of the British, you can write the third land revenue, the one of the issue that they are charging 33% tax rate, which led to the decrease in the food crops. And their methods was very cruel when they are collecting the tax. Third region, you can write about the monsoon. During the 1850 famine in the Bengal and Bihar, there is a continuously failure of the monsoon during that period, and also with the smallpox pandemic at that time. So the failure of monsoon plus the smallpox lead to a condition in which the more than the 10 million of people died. 10 million people died during Bengal and Bihar famine. And what of the British policy? You can see the policy of the British about they are following the Malthusian principle, sociological concept. In this concept, they were thinking about we will not spend any of the money on these famines. We will not do any work which will help to reduce the number of deaths due to this famine. They think the spending on the preventive work, spending on the curative work, which was due to the famines, is a waste of money. Next, you can write the increase in the export of the wheat. Increase in the export of wheat during the period of 1870 to 1882. During this period, there is a highest wheat export by the British India to the out of the country, which lead to the food crisis in the country and which leads to the major famine again. Then you can also write the spending, or we can say the drain of wealth. Britishers were spending major on the maintenance of the army. Maintenance of the army outside India also. They are spending the money taken from the India to the outside country and maintaining their army there. Instead of spending on the famines, they are spending on the army. Or you can see their policy like we can say on the Queen Declaration. Everybody know the Queen Declaration? They are spending a very much large amount on Queen Declaration, जहां पे वो celebrate कर रहे हैं Queen के आने पे. This was a pathetic condition. The people are dying and these people are spending on the welcoming the Queen into India. So again you can mention about the Queen Declaration. The spending on the Queen Declaration was very high and there is no spending on the main issue, the famine. Another you can write in the another example. Anybody can tell me? Let's make this a conversation instead of just from the one side conversation. Yes, Pratima, it's a Delhi Darbar, we can say. Like they allocate, you can also quote some of the spending on famine. Spending on famine. British government allocate 17 crores for famine, but out of these 70 crores, they spend 12 crores on the railway maintenance. They allot the 70 crores for the famine, but they spend 12 crore on the maintenance of the railway. The famine money goes to the railway because they want to take the resources out of the country. They want to exploit the country, which lead to the main famine at that time, which lead to the major death of the people at that time. So if we quote these in a answer framework, we can write in this way. If we are writing in the form of the answer format, we can write in this way. The number one, the failure of monsoon. The failure of monsoon. So during the 1769 to 1770, there was a monsoon failure, plus the monsoon failure added up with the smallpox pandemic. Monsoon failures था, लेकिन it added up with the smallpox pandemic, and which lead to the death of the 16 million people in the country. 16 million people. This also lead to the death of the livestock. Why there is important mentioning of livestock? Because if there is a failure of the crop, the livestock was one of the other source where the people can survive through their meat, through the milk, or maybe the other way. Dhananjay is asking the question, sir, जो आप करंट अफेयर सेशन 215 लेते हैं, पर वो आप ज्योग्राफी स्पेसिफिक करंट अफेयर्स कंसीडर करते हैं all around. Hi Dhananjay, I am covering the all kind of the current affairs, not the geographical specific. We are covering the all kind of current affairs at 2:15 every Friday, and on every Saturday there is a current affair test at 11 a.m. Okay, now come to the question again. So the failure of the monsoon plus the smallpox pandemic in the 1899 lead to the highest death. The 60 million people died during that pandemic, and the death of the livestock as well. Then again the failure of crop you can mention. During the 1783, 1784, there was a continuous failure of the monsoon, which lead to the failure of crop and which aggravated to the food shortage in the country and lead to the famine. So it's a combination of both the nature issue plus the most of the issue of the British Indian policy. You will add up the British Indian policy plus also the other factors which lead to the famine in that period. Next, the excess export of food crop by Britisher. In these time between the 1870 to 1878 or 1880, this was a period when the maximum export of food crop from outside India, which again lead to the death of shortage of the grains in the country. Okay, if see through the graph, that will be the better clarity. If we can see this graph, we can see there is a continuous highest export of the wheat during this period, starting from the 1872 to 1878. There was an increase in the export continuously, which lead to the again the famine and the death of the millions of the people in the country. Nature caused drought, but Britisher made it famine. Yes, nature caused drought, but Britisher made it famine through its policy. After the drought, they are charging the taxation 33%. They are not thinking about the drought, but they are charging the people money. Moving of people from the food crop to the cash crop. From the wheat and the rice, they are trying to move it to the cotton crop, to opium crop, to indigo crop, which lead to the food shortage into the country. Okay, so through this graph we can understand better. Then next is the Malthusian principle. I already told you about this principle. No unnecessary expenditure on relief work. They consider the relief work as unnecessary in India. कि हम जो पैसा लगाएंगे रिलीफ वर्क पे, दैट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, हमें आवश्यकता ही नहीं है. Yes, permanent settlement was also a reason. Because of the highest taxation, you can quote also. Drain of wealth, again, they are spending on the military outside the country also, for the maintenance, for overseas war, which lead to the famine in the 1876 and 1878. So the mention of the example and mentioning of the year of the famine plus the region British policy as well as the geographical factors as well. You need to write all these things in this 10 marker. The presentation we can be the different. You can make like, if you want to present in a good form, you can make like this kind of the figure. This is the region A, this is the region B, this is the region C, and this is the region D, which lead to the famine in the country. So your presentation will improve. You're making these kind of the figure, you will get like a 1 mark extra than the others. Yes, AK, exploitative revenue policy, we discussed it. Like they are charging the 33% revenue, where the Maratha government was charging the only 10 to 12% revenue. So if you're making these kind of chart and writing the answer also, your presentation will also increase. Even you can mention some specific famine like the Bengal famine. Also you can mention like the Bengal famine, these were the region. Queen declaration, famine at that time. So your presentation is also have a bigger role in the mains answer writing. Okay. So let's move to the next point. Specific points of the economic exploitation. In 1768, during the Bengal and the Bihar, famine killed 10 million people. So 10 millions means the 1 crore people killed in 1768 in the Bengal and Bihar famine. Taxation rate 33%. Cash crops, cotton, opium and indigo, shifting from the food crops to the cash crop was the one of the reason for the famines in that time. Use of the famine grants for the other purpose, like I already told you about, they are spending 12 crore out of the 17 crore allocated for the famines into the railway maintenance. No investment in agriculture, very least investment. For sustainability of agriculture, for the production, there was no investment. And finally, you can quote the Queen Declaration during 1878 by Lytton. Highest spending on the welcoming the Queen in the country, where on the another side, the country is facing the highest famine. So you can quote these kind of information, make subheadings, try to make the figure as well. There will be the value addition if you make the India map and you can show these are the area during which the famines was happened at this time period. If you are creative, you can make the map, you can show the location. At the location, under the location, you can write also the region. So instead of getting the 4 out of 10, you will get the 5.5. If you are making the map and you are presenting the in the form of a flow chart. It will save your time, it will improve your presentation, you will get the higher marks. Each half and marks is also matter. Getting the 1 mark extra in each question is 80 marks extra in the whole GS. Can improve the rank from the 800 to the within 100. So any question if you people have, you can ask about this question. A request to you, please submit your answer. If you are writing your answer, please submit to the portal so it can be evaluated by our mentor. We are starting our GS mains program. You can see the conditions during the famine also. The malnourishment which lead to the death of the people. Okay. And again, this is the GS main support program and test series. We are starting. This test series will include these kind of discussion, where we are completely focused on the practice, presentation, quality content, and also providing you the answers of the mains PYQ from 2013 to 2022. Also providing the practice test before writing the main test on Sundays. One-to-one mentor, which will evaluate your copy and also tell you about where you are lacking out than the others. If you're interested in this program, you can contact us and you can join this program, GS Mains Support Program, providing the complete support for the qualification for the mains examination. And the one point you note, if you're clear the prelims or not, if you're not preparing for the mains, you will be in the cycle again. If you're wasting the 3-4 months, these are the very crucial months in the UPSC preparation. If you are wasting this time, then you will be in the cycle again. So don't waste the time, make a target till the 15th September. I will write the mains at my home if you're not clearing this exam. अगर प्रीलिम्स नहीं हुआ है तो टारगेट लेके चलो कि 15 सितंबर तक मेंस लिखेंगे, लेकिन घर पे लिखेंगे. So make a target till 15 September, GS 1, 2, 3, 4 all will be covered by me with answer writing properly. If you are preparing for the mains, your prelims is automatically prepared and it's clear from this year prelims paper. You need a clarity on the concept. You need a very depth study so that there will be no confusion in the option and you cannot use any more that elimination technique there. So my suggestion to you, prepare for the mains examination, make a timeline till when you will complete your GS part 1, 2, 3, 4, till when you will complete your optional, and till December there should be a complete one cycle of GS, optional and essay. It will give you the more confidence. It will give you highest clarity when you start preparing for the prelims. This is the reason why the person who is giving the interview on the 15th of the May is again giving the prelims on the 27th, 28th of the May and clearing the prelims, because he is in the continuous in the cycle. From the prelims, he prepared for the mains, he prepared for the interview. Again, he attempted within the 15 days, he cleared the prelims. That is the one reason, because they are in the cycle and continuously cycle. For the 2 years, you need to be in a continuation for this preparation. Okay. AK, can mention various committee of the famine? Yes, AK, you can quote a 1 or 2 committee. In as example, this committee recommended this thing, but that's not happened. Like the recommendation of 17 crores for the spending on the famine, but only the 3-4 crores was spent specifically for the famines, but other 12 crores are spent on the railway. Okay, so this is today's question. Tomorrow you will get again question on modern history. So try to submit the answer and then attend these classes. Okay, thank you very much.